All right, good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and pink and purple dragons. For all of you Sword in the Stone fans, wake up Web3 with just JC today. The reason you get just me today, and the reason I'm not wearing headphones, is because Reptar is probably still asleep since yesterday was his birthday. So happy birthday, Reptar. Hope you had a good night. Hope you are not feeling too bad whenever you wake up this morning. But want to get straight into it. It's just going to be a random news dump today. There's kind of a lot of stuff going on, but nothing really moving the prices in something super exciting. But we are seeing some stuff moving. So let me make sure the YouTube is running. Gonna check the YouTubes and see, but want to get straight into it. It's just going to be a random news dump today. There's kind of a random movie quotes. That's all I do. So really moving the prices in something super exciting. If you're watching this live, name that movie. If you get here in time. Sure the YouTube is running. Gonna check the YouTube. So we're gonna go straight to the bubbles like we always start with. Want to get straight into random news dump today. There's kind of a random movie share, and eventually we're gonna go with a different format right now. If you're watching this live, name that movie format than just using Google Meet. We are gonna eventually upgrade our YouTube. So interface here, but anyway. So here's our bubbles. Green today. M is still up. Let's just see what movie share. And if name is Meme Core. Format right now. Okay. If you're watching this, haven't done a lot of research on it yet, so I can't tell you what it is. I can tell you it's rank 41, so they're doing something good. This is up to interface here today. So here's our bubble at 19% below the launch price of 23 cents. It spiked up to, I think, 44, 45. Meme hung out in the upper 20s. Now it's down to 19. There's some news surrounding this that I find a little bit disturbing. Today it's rank 41 because it's a Trump coin or related to their family or whatever. Just because of what they did in the code. Still at 19% below the launch blockchain and smart contract. I think it's a good thing. 44, 45. Meme hung out too centralized, and more importantly, the code is written. So there's some news surrounding that here in just a second. Arrow back up. Yay, coin for ICE 134. What they still at 19 below 57 there, and 220 last good thing. The date on that hung out too centralized, and more importantly, the code is in December. There's some news talking about that here in just a second. Let's see, arrow back up. Interesting or notable here. Like I said, these are all like they're up, and that's good, but they're not near the highs they were in the last month or so. And 220. There's Mint, there's HBAR climbing back up, made it all the way down to, so in December, 21 cents. The most recent high being 27, I think all-time highs in the 50s. Notable here. Like I said, these are all, like they're up, and that's good, but they're not near the highs they were in the last recent high. Was at, back in January, there's Mint, 37 cents, bars hanging out, climbing back up, around 22, which is good, not bad. So in December, 21. Yeah, let's move on into some news here. One of the big things I saw this morning that I think is interesting is we talked about this either yesterday or the day before. The Fed rate. Oh, I've got an echo. Let me turn my stuff down. Thank you. Back in January, is that a little better? Let me know if that echo. Hey, Mr. Drake, climbing back up around 22, which is better. Not bad. I did turn my gain up because people were saying. Yeah, let's move on into some news here. One of the big things I saw this morning that I think you can turn it down a little bit. We talked about this either yesterday or the day before. The Fed rate. Oh, I've got an echo. Let me turn my stuff down. Turn that down. Back in January, is that a little better? Let me know if that echo. And then, so yeah, around 22, which is better. Either yesterday or the day before. People were saying let's move on into some news here. One of the big things I saw this morning that I think you can turn it down a little bit. We talked about this either yesterday or the day before. The Fed rate. Oh, I've got an echo. Let me turn my stuff down. Turn that down. Back in January, is that a little better? Let me know. All right, so the echo is stopped. Let me see if that does it. Is that better? Gonna talk in chat for just a second. I think what was happening is I did not have the YouTube channel muted, and so the speakers were playing through the headphones here. All right, I'm just gonna leave these on since that's how things work. Wow, that was insane. That was no good. No bueno. I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Gray? Should I stop this and start over? Are we better? All right, I'm not getting echo. All right, we're going to continue on and hope that got taken care of. So, sorry about that. That was, I finally put that on. That was painful. Sorry. So, yeah, I'm going to put in the description here, skip the first 2 minutes of the video. All that to say, I'll look back here for just a minute and recap. Yeah, we're green. Things are moving back up from the lows. Nothing major. All right, moving on. Good grief, that was rough. Sorry. So moving on, we talked about yesterday or the day before the Fed rates. The odds of a Fed rate cut were almost 90% for a 25 basis points cut, and I think 10 or 11% for the rate cut not happening and the rates being left alone. Let me show you the new prediction. This is the from the CME group. They are now predicting an 88%. Come over here, 88% 25 basis points. And now there's a 12% for a 50 basis points. So there's a 0% chance they're not going to cut rates. There is now a 12% chance they will do a 50-point rate cut. And the reason that changed is yesterday the unemployment numbers came back, and they came back higher than expected. So we have lowering inflation numbers and CPI data that came out last week, but increasing unemployment numbers for this week. So the Fed, I've even seen talks, and they say this every time this happens, I've seen talks of an emergency rate cut, which I don't see happening. They'll wait. There's no reason to do an emergency rate cut when they're going to be doing one in 2 weeks anyway. But now instead of, there's 0% chance of no rate cut, and now there's a 12% chance of a 50 basis point rate cut. Keep an eye on that, and obviously we'll talk about it when it happens, but keep an eye on that for the future prices as we talk about a bunch. As interest rates go down, big money is more willing to borrow money to take more risk. Crypto is more risky, therefore we should see, if the historical pattern continues, anytime money gets cheaper, money flows into crypto. Plus, we've got this possibility of tariff refunds coming to people, getting a little check here. The last time we handed out checks, during the pandemic, the crypto market went crazy because people dumped their money into the crypto market. So really, that's kind of the first and biggest news that I saw this morning. That's right, Mr. Gray. The market is going to be screaming, holy cow. So we'll see how that goes, and then let me move on from that. But that was, in my opinion, probably the biggest news of the day is now we have a chance for 50 basis points. Now, I think what that means is people will start baking in this rate cut now. They're just gonna start assuming it's happening. So they'll start trading as if it has already happened. But if this happens right here, things will go pretty crazy during that day. You always see a lot of volatility on the day they announce the rates. All right, let me move on here. A couple of things that popped up yesterday also of note. So look, Swift, the Swift chief not intelligence officer, sorry, that's something else. CIO. The future isn't Swift or Ethereum, it's both. It's multi-chain, institutions need to trust the scaffolding Swift provides. Now, Swift is just going to be adopting the blockchain stuff onto their thing, which is why I never did put a lot of stock into XRP replacing Swift. I think XRP integrating into Swift is probably a good thing. Either that, or they are Swift is a little late to the party and they're about to be taken over. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. Anyway, I thought that was important to note that even the executives at Swift are talking about blockchain and not just Ethereum. So yeah, you can see All in Crypto here is bullish on XRP, ETH, XLM. So let me move on here. Something on the HBAR front. I don't know if you guys caught this. This happened. This was announced yesterday, right after our morning show. The state of Wyoming, in the United States, has adopted their own little stablecoin, FRNT. I'm not sure why that, like Frontier, I guess. I don't know. But they have deployed their stablecoin across multiple chains, and Hedera Hashgraph entered the mix as a standout addition. So obviously, the news that dropped yesterday was Wyoming uses HBAR for their stablecoin. But as you can see here, they're actually doing it across chains, which is what stablecoins are going to do. You have USDC is not just available on one blockchain; it's available across multiple blockchains. All stablecoins are going to have to do this. So while it is important that HBAR is among these, it should be tempered with the idea that ETH, Solana, AVAX, and Base are also going to have the Frontier. I'm going to say Frontier. I assume it's Frontier. I don't know. Stablecoin. Then we've got this little bit of news on HBAR. Dovu is up 40% in the last 24 hours. Multiple large whale buys. So that is a DeFi play on HBAR. We've talked about this 1,000 times. Yeah, it's not a crypto. It's a stable coin. A stable coin token. It's using blockchains. It is a stable coin on blockchains. That's all it is. But we've talked about this 1,000 times. DeFi is the way for you to get out of a bank and be your own bank. It's nice that HBAR is picking up the DeFi. We are bullish, as bullish can be, on Sauce and Saucer Swap. So it's great to see another DeFi project coming onto HBAR. We want as many eyes on HBAR as possible because we do believe that it is a good technology for the future, and obviously we want to pump our bags. Moving on, next little bit of news here. This is a great question. World Liberty Financial blacklists Justin Sun's address and locks his entire allocation. So he was an early investor. Justin Sun, don't get me wrong, I don't like the guy. He's one of those pump and dump people. He's scammy. He's happy to make money off of your ignorance. Don't like the guy at all. He's been involved in a lot of scammy projects. However, I have a greater problem with this right here. World Liberty Financial blacklists his address and locked his entire allocation. Here's his statement on it. But look, I'm an early investor, World Liberty, I contributed capital. My tokens were frozen. Not like, hey, things are locked, but his specific account and his specific tokens were frozen. That's different than, hey, one of the things projects often do is they will lock their early investors' tokens so they can't dump them all on the launch of the project, and that helps their token price stabilization. But the fact that he just wasn't able to buy or sell when it wasn't a part of the lockup or the vesting process means that was coded into their token. When they wrote the smart contract for this token, they coded in the ability for themselves to lock addresses. In case you can't see why that is a bad idea, let me spell it out for you. If a token is able to be locked by an outside source, that means even if it's your private wallet, they can block your address. They can't take your tokens, but they can block your address from being able to buy, sell, or trade. This is not a good thing. This is anti-crypto. That means, imagine if they can do this on this token or this crypto. Imagine what these CBDCs, or let's say there are laws being passed in the United States where central banks cannot create digital dollars, digital, U.S.-backed stable coins, but others can. But imagine you go to another country where the country itself creates their own central bank digital token that is a digital digital euro, for example, digital pound, digital yen, digital whatever, digital national currency, and it's controlled by the national bank. Well, if they can just shut off your ability to buy, sell, or trade that token because that's what's coded in, they effectively control whether or not you can spend your money. That means what you can buy, what you can sell. Oh, you said something we don't like? Well, not only are now, like, in the UK, they're going to throw you in jail for wearing a flag shirt. Oh, they're just going to cut off your ability to buy food. How about that? So you will comply or you will not eat. Major problem. Before I get off on a rant, I'm going to move on. We're going to move on to a different news rant here. That's right. Sorry, I'm going to read the comments now. Mr. Gray, there's been a lot of stories promoting HBAR recently, from music adoption, NASA, and now the Frontier token. That's right. HBAR is moving. HBAR is getting noticed. That's looking good for our HBAR bags. And as DeFi moves and grows on HBAR, that's looking good for our sauce bags. I'm hoping that, hey, we always talk about XRP can retire your bloodline. Maybe HBAR can retire your bloodline. I don't know. But let's move on to another scammy piece of crap that's got me pissed off this morning. Former SEC Chair Gensler's text messages from October 22 to September 23 are missing. Oh no, we lost our emails. I'm so freaking sick of this crap. Ugh. You know what's really sad is everybody's going to click off my video. I'll click off the live stream because it was so echo at the beginning, and no one's going to hear this rant. Sad. Yeah, so as you can see here, basically, the FTX collapsed through the Grayscale Spot BTC ETFs lawsuit. All of this crap. By the way, if you didn't know that the SEC and Gensler specifically were talking with Sam Bankman-Fried and had him in for consultations multiple times and were neck deep in the FTX rug pull, if you didn't know that, oh, well, now you're never going to know about it because those emails are missing. Oops, we deleted them by accident. Shut up, you lying pieces of crap. Thank you, Mr. Gray. I appreciate you being here. Yeah. This just, I'm so sick of this. People doing whatever they want with no consequences. Here you go. Nearly a year's worth of text messages, sorry, not emails, text messages were permanently lost due to a series of avoidable technology failures. I accidentally deleted it. Yeah. Prison would be nice. I just irritates me. All right. Let's we did miss this yesterday because we went long. I want to give a little bit of an update on Serum City. That's a game that we play. If you're not into the crypto gaming space, thanks for joining us. This is not going to be of interest to you. I hope the other stuff gets you a little fired up and gets you talking to your representatives. Have your elected officials start holding people accountable. No matter who they are. I don't care if you like them, if they're your party or the opponent's party. If they're doing crap like this, they need to be held accountable. All parties, everywhere. Yeah, exactly. Rules for thee, but not for me. Some animals are more equal than others. To quote the second most famous George Orwell book. Anyway, let me talk about a little bit, something a little more positive. You guys know that we do love playing crypto games. This is Serum City. It's a little land builder game that you can earn some money and tokens in. It's fun to play, but the great thing about playing this game is, number one, they have leaderboards each year, each season. We're in between seasons now, where you can actually earn money. Several people in our community have earned hundreds of dollars playing this game, and it's free to play. You can play it without spending money, or you can spend money just like the games on your phone. Candy Crush, you can play without spending money, or you can spend money. So same thing here, but people in our community have earned a few $100 here and there. However, because you played the game, you're also getting dropped serum tokens. So you can see here, I've earned serum points. Well, they have a serum token, which is, all of this is involved, started with the Bored Ape Yacht Club's IP. So Bored Ape Yacht Club then evolved some mutant apes that you could play with, and then the mutant ape IP, some of the owners of the mutant apes and some bored apes got permission to use the mutant IP to create their little games, and then so they created this game here. You can see the mutant influence. Let's see. You can see the mutant ape. These are all mutant apes owned by the creators. You can see the mutant influence here. It's kind of fun. Anyway, the graphics and visuals are really cool. But playing the game earns you serum points. The serum points will be exchanged at an 8-to-1 ratio for serum token. So obviously 180,000. Call it roughly. Call it 160,000 just for easy math. At 8-to-1, that means I'm getting 20,000 serum tokens. What does that mean? Well, let's go over here to see if do I have one up. I don't. We'll do it here. Let's just see what a serum token is worth. Top 1,600 in crypto tokens. Currently at a penny. So that's $200 for playing a video game. That's an extra $200 that I'm going to get for playing a video game. Or I can hold the token and see what they do with it. So we didn't bring that up yesterday. I did want to bring it up. These are NFTs you can create in the game and also sell. They're currently selling for a couple of bucks each to play the game. They do have some utility in the game. Yeah. All right. It's Friday. Reptar is not here because yesterday was Reptar's birthday. Happy birthday, Reptar. We hope you're feeling okay this morning. Apologies for the sound stuff at the beginning. That's what happens when you do something different. I took my headphones off and didn't even hear my own freaking echo. Brilliant. I will put a note in the beginning. Yeah, $200, $200. Insert meme here. Anyway, hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see. I think with this Fed news, we may have an interesting weekend. You can see it's already had a positive effect on the markets. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you rest. I hope you relax. I hope you get away from the grind. Have a little fun. And we will see you back on Tuesday to see what and talk about whatever's happened and whatever you can hope to prosper from in the next week. But Mr. Gray, thanks for being here. Thanks for dealing with all the echo stuff. I will put a disclaimer in the title. Let me see if I can do that before I go off here. We're going to update the title. What do you think, Mr. Gray? Skip the first 2 minutes? Let me delete that. I'm going to change the title here to let people know to skip. Let's see if that changes. We're going to refresh. Hey, sweet. It did change. All right. Mr. Gray, have a wonderful weekend. Everyone else, whenever you're watching this, have a great day, have a great evening, have a great morning, whatever it is. Love you a long time. See you guys. And gals. and purple dragons.